Hello there, my name is Alan Chisco, and I am the author of this project. Thank you very much for purchasing The Venetian. I do hope that you'll find it useful in the course of your work. So, just a quick little run through of all the things that you can change and how you might go about putting it all together here. When you open up the project, the first thing you want to do is click on the background composition. You can see that there's a whole bunch of textures included, up 12 in fact, and all you have to do is just turn on the visibility of whichever one you'd like to have, or of course you can use your own texture. When you put it in the composition, just make sure that it scales up so that it fits the frame. That's fairly important. So that's it for the background, I guess. We'll move on to the picture tab. Now, if you look at this, there's got this red border around here. Okay, there's actually two of them. This is the HD border, the high def border, if you happen to be going to 1920, 1080, or widescreen. If you do an NTSC or PAL widescreen, you want to use this safe title thing. If you're going to be going to NTSC D1, DV, or regular PAL, you want to turn this one off, the HD size layer, and turn on standard def size. Okay, the way that it works is this is actually bigger than you need it to be, so that when the blinds sort of swoop back and forth, it takes up the whole space. So I needed to put a little bit more space in here. So once you do that, then you just put whatever you want in this box. Okay, it can go off the edge of the box here just like this, but you're not going to see it except when the blinds are sort of swinging back and forth. Okay, so everything that you want to be visible has to be in this box right here. Okay, so you can, just drag images in there, scale them down. You can put video in there, right? You can do text, and let's just do a little thing here. I'll turn this off, and we'll do hi. Now, one little tip, a nice little design tip when you're doing this is use your transfer modes while you're doing this, okay? If you look at that, it's just, there's text, it looks all fine. But don't forget we've got some really interesting textures in the background here, okay? And I think you'll find that when you use different transfer modes, you can get some really neat effects going on that works really well with the textures that I've got in the background. So I was using a keyboard shortcut here. Here's a little tip. When you've got your layer selected, hold down your shift key and then go up to the plus and minus key beside your backspace on the main keyboard. Okay, and when you do that, you can just quickly cycle through all the different transfer modes that you got there. So there's a little tip for you. Okay, so once we do that, we'll move on to the movement tab, and this is where it gets really fun. All of the movement of the blinds here is all based on expressions and stuff, but you don't have to go over to the effect control panel or everything. Everything is done on screen using these little buttons right here. All you got to do is click and drag. So for instance, if you want your swing duration to be short, you just click on it and you move it over, okay? You'll see it sort of move around here. It's not until you do the preview animation that you'll see the full effect. But longer, shorter. Well, it can't be much easier than that. Velocity. Do you want it to be slow or do you want it to be fast? Click and drag. Size of the swing. Do you want it big or do you want it small? Okay. So I mean, it can't get any easier than that. You just click and drag. These buttons here are not going to be in the final render. Once you're ready to render, you've got everything all set there. Oh, one more thing before I go on. When you're doing your preview here, I would suggest that you render at a really low resolution, just so that you can get an idea of the speed of things. The lowest that you can go in the pull down here is quarter, but usually what I do is I go to custom and I'll do something really big, like 10 pixels by 10 pixels. It's going to get all blocky and everything, but all we want to see is the motion here. Okay, so you don't have to worry about having full res or anything like that. So there you go. That's a little tip for quicker renders for your previews. So finally, we're going to go over to the render tab. Now this was designed in high def 1920 by 1080. That means that you can do that or any format smaller than that, all the way down to, well, you can do web size. You want 320 by 240 if you want. Now, if you're going to render to HD, you got to render, let's just make one here, move that up. You want to do best settings, okay? Now, two things about best settings. This project incorporates motion blur. If you do it motion blur, then the render will take a little while, but it's going to look the best. If you want a faster render, then consider turning off motion blur, okay? Just off for all layers. When you render, make sure that your output is going to something that supports an alpha channel. I'm just going to go to lossless with alpha. I usually go to a QuickTime movie, RGB plus alpha, and I usually set my color matting to straight. Okay, once you render that out, bring it into your nonlinear editor, and all these areas that are behind here are going to be transparent to your video. Okay, you can see the transparency right there. So, rendered to an alpha channel. Now, if you're going to be going to something other than high def, like if you're going to be going to NTSC, D1, DV, widescreen, or PAL or anything like that, here's a little time-saving tip, okay? Make sure that your composition here is on half resolution, okay? And you can turn motion blur on or off. It's important that you do it here, okay? Now what you do when you go to your make movie, you do not leave it, let's just delete that one, you don't leave it on best settings, because if you do that, it's going to size it up to 1920 by 1080, but you don't need all that information. You're just doing NTSC or PAL, right? So what you want to do is change this one here to current settings. Just like that. Now when you open that up, you'll see that although the size is 1920 1080, it's only rendering to 960 by 540. Now that's still bigger than you're going to want for your final render, but it's going to render a lot faster, and then when you bring it into your editing application, you can just scale it to fit. You can make it a little bit smaller and no problem. So that'll be a lot quicker if you just go into NTSC or PAL. So, and before I go, there's one more thing that I want to cover here. In your render tab here, you'll notice that it's a really long composition. It goes to 2 minutes. The reason that I made it so long was because if you wanted to have, put like a video or something in here, something long form, then you've got up to 2 minutes in length. What I suggest, of course, is you don't want to have 2 minutes usually for the, if you only need something that's 8 seconds long. So make sure that you set your render time right in your render composition here, okay? You just go to wherever you want in your time, and then you drag your layer marker, your work area right here. The only other important thing to remember about that is when you do go to your render settings here, make sure that it says where is it? Work area only. Okay, if you set this to length of comp, you're going to be rendering 2 minutes worth. It's going to take a while, and you probably don't need 2 minutes. So one more thing to keep in mind. Okay, one more thing to discuss is what to do if you want to make a whole bunch of these. Let's say you wanted to do an image gallery or something like that. The project itself only contains one composition. This is how you go about making a whole sequence of images really fast. Okay, let's just get rid of these right now. You go through everything, you do all your background, the pictures and the movement and everything, and you're in your render tab. Okay, at this point you want to make movie. You put this to wherever you want it, and let's call this one 01, just like that. Set all your render settings up. Okay, then you save this as file, save as 01. Okay, then what you do is you change everything. You go to your backgrounds, you do a new background, you change the pictures, you change your text. Whatever it is that you want to do, go to your movement, change the movement up a little bit. Then you go to your render tab here, and you want to make movie again. Okay, get rid of that first one that you did, call this one 02. Okay, then you save this After Effects project as 02. Okay, new project like that. So you go through that, you do 2, 5, 10, 100. It doesn't matter however many you do. Then what you do is go up to File, New Project. You want to import footage. I double clicked on there, but you can also go to File, Import File. And let's see here, we'll go to tutorial. There we go, we've got our 2 project files. You want to import these project files, 1 and 2. I'll just hold down Shift to get them both. Open. It'll import the project files, and look down here in your render queue. Okay, everything that you had in the render queue for the other projects, they're all there. They're all ready to go. All of your settings will be the same. All the names will be the same. All you have to do when you import 1, 2, 5, 10, 100 projects here is hit the render button, whatever, go for lunch, go to sleep, whatever the case may be, let the machine do its work. So there you go. That's a little tip on how to create a whole bunch of animations quickly and easily. So thank you very much again for purchasing The Venetian. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.